So when I was reading the rubric for this speech assignment, I was like going back and forth, like, do I talk about either my mom or my grandmother? And I kind of came to the conclusion that I really can't talk about one without the other. Because they both are just so, like, it really is like a line of succession. And I was thinking a lot about how the way my grandmother influenced my mom, which influenced me and my siblings. So I'm going to open up with Christmas of 2005. I think I was in it must have been like second grade or third grade, and my grandparents owned this like country store, like kind of like tourist spot off of the Blue Ridge Parkway. They owned that for they owned that for like decades. And they decided around Christmas time they were going to come live with us during the entire month of December and a little bit into January, because they were going to have like a kiosk in the mall in Greensboro. And I just remember that being like the best Christmas of like my life, when it was like my grandparents, my aunts, and my entire family, so I guess that would have been a total of about 10 of us, because I have a lot of siblings, living under one house. And it was like the greatest thing ever, just because like that's when I really got to like really know my grandparents really well, just because I never really talked to them that much beforehand. It kind of inspired us later in life when they both got to the point where they couldn't really take care of themselves, to come and live with us. My family kind of we kind of took like an Eastern philosophy kind of way of looking after parents. We never, even thought about putting them in retirement home. Not saying that's a bad idea, because for some people it definitely, they need that. But, just for my parents, like my mom really couldn't think of any other way to take care of my grandparents, which she got from my grandmother, because my grandmother is a very hospitable person. So part of the things that I've seen from the things that my grandmother inspired in my mom, which has inspired in me, is the way my grandmother stood up against adversity. Even though my grandfather's name was on the title for all the paperwork for the business that they ran, my grandmother really was the one that ran it, because my grandfather's notoriously horrible with money. So she wouldn't let him really do anything. The only reason why they needed his name on the thing was because for her, if she was the person who ran the business, she couldn't really get all the opportunities that she wanted to help the business. I remember she told me about this one instance where they wanted to get this you had to buy this special machine when credit cards were first coming out for businesses to take credit cards. And she worked for weeks to get this thing, and they wouldn't let her get it, but then she just brought in my grandfather, and they kind of gave it to him in a few days. So, she, really, so this happened. So, she had to deal with a lot of that, pretty much being the person who ran the business. And not only that, but she had 4 daughters. They had no sons. So my grandmother, I'm convinced my grandmother's a prophet, because she kind of predicted the whole second wave feminism's sexual revolution things. So she raised all of my my aunts and my mom to go to college, get jobs, get to a place in life where you don't have to rely on your husband, because the odds that one of you or all of you are going to get divorced is statistically very high. She was very open with him about that. And it turns out, 3 out of her 4 kids did end up getting divorced. And right now, all of them are the main breadwinners for their families, including mine. So, in that way, seeing that in my mom, because my mom, she definitely inspired me and my siblings, to really value and appreciate our education. Not just academically, but just learning. Even out of academic settings, she just really fostered this sort of house of, just constantly learning about whatever. And my grandmother definitely was, the same way. So, when my mom, I'm adopted, all my siblings are adopted, there are 5 of us. The way that kind of went through me, me and all my siblings, we grew up in a really good Christian home, but we all are very much so independent, of I've seen other people, and they're exactly like their parents, and they really just kind of blindly believe their parents, not believe, but just follow their parents. And we were never really raised like that, all my siblings have these different outlooks on life. And I just see that as kind of unique, and that also kind of came from my grandmother. So this kind of shows how I can't really talk about one without the other. The reason why I want to talk about both of them is I think we can all learn to sort of appreciate the wisdom that we get from the older generation, and sort of study how or not study, but just like see how it comes in through our parents, it comes in through us, and it kind of makes sense of, you know, how we turned out. So that's it.